This is a 69 News special report.
Greetings, you beautiful people. I'm going to be talking to you about personalised web browsing and how on different platforms things may seem different. Twitter is a very, very popular social networking used by millions. Here is what Twitter looks like on an iPhone. And here is what Twitter looks like on a PC. But why, you might be asking, is it not just the same? How do you expect a screen that big to fit on a wincy screen like that? Data is being linked to mobile apps and social networking like games and stuff, and it's all being linked to regular web experiences. And to be honest, Facebook is the majority of games you've downloaded, they will most certainly ask you if you want to connect to Facebook. Even Twitter asks you if you want to make your tweets go to Facebook. Here's to you, Facebook. For example, Candy Crush, one of the most loved games by the nation, and one of the top downloaded at the moment. You can play with your friends, beat their high scores, but the thing that makes it so good is that you don't have to add friends and all that. You just link your Facebook up to it, and then it adds all your friends. Easy. And now we're going to find out what one of our other reporters has been up to. Can we FaceTime Scott, please? Scott, you there?
I'm right here, Jack. How are you?
I am okay, sir. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Tell us what you've been up to today.
Well, I've just been going a bit in about college today, just asking the fine boys and girls at this establishment what they thought about their mobile phones.
So, can you read some of them statistics out for us, please?
Yeah, here we go. I asked 15 boys and 15 girls what they thought about their latest mobile handsets. And when I asked, 12 out of the 15 girls had recently owned a BlackBerry, and 7 out of the 15 boys upgraded from one iPhone to another. 19 out of 30 said in their last 5 phones they had owned an old school Nokia and or a slide-up Samsung. You can see how time has gone, can't you, Jack?
Yes, certainly.
I then went on to ask all these boys and girls what their ideal phone was, and surprisingly, 28 out of 30 of them all said that the latest iPhone would be their ideal phone. I went on to ask if any of them had ever owned a tablet, and surprisingly, 12 out of 12 people who had recently owned iPads would definitely recommend them, and the only other person who owned a tablet, was only one of them, said they wouldn't actually recommend their Samsung notebook to a friend. One of the last questions I asked them was who they thought was actually making the best products on the market at this present moment in time. And 28 out of 30 of those people all said that Apple were making the most versatile products, and they thought they were making the most money in the market. But surprisingly, it's not how it seems.
I certainly agree, Scott. Do you have any Apple products yourself? Because I certainly have an iPhone.
I do. I have got the iPhone 5, I've recently acquired an iPod, I've got an iPad, and I've got a nice little Mac at home. I'm Apple crazy, mate.
Well, there's no need to rub it in there, Scott.
The last question I asked these young boys and girls if they actually knew about any other alternatives to Apple. I asked them if they knew what Microsoft Surface was and if they'd ever experienced using it before.
How many of them actually knew what Microsoft Surface was?
A shocking 4 out of 30 of these young boys and girls actually knew what it was. That's crazy.
Fascinating.
No one knows about this interconnectivity. The last question I asked was the topic of our assignment. I asked if on their devices, have any of them ever used their two or more devices to connect between them? And 11 out of 30 of them said yes. 10 of these said they used iCloud to connect their files over 2 devices, and a shocking 1 out of 30 used Google Cloud. In my opinion, from these results, Apple have clearly got a strong clutch over these young boys and girls, but it's not a small cost to get an Apple device nowadays, is it, Jack?
No, not at all.
No.
Very, very pricey.
No, but hey ho. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, up next is a little boy from up north. He's a farmer. His name's Joe Madley. Take it away, Joe!
Hey everyone, I'm Joe. Today I'm going to be talking about how people are now accessing the internet through their new smartphones and how this is causing loads of problems for the new web designers and their products. These days, people just tend to check their new Twitter and Facebook feeds through the new classy iPhone or Galaxy S4s. This has proven a real task for web designers to make their websites compatible for the new smartphones and how people are checking them. One example of this is like on Twitter. People have raised eyebrows about the Who to Follow app. The Who to Follow application has been removed on the iPhone and Galaxy S4 smartphones. But for other people out of No Lies, this has raised a real eyebrow for them. So far, there's been no word by the Twitter representatives, although no one cares. Some other web designers, however, have done a magnificent job on this, as I'm about to show you, like the Duux Hit over there, and for Mr. Simon Collison over there, and for last but not least, Bill Guild. Yeah. That's all from me today. Now over to Dan.
With what we know about current technology, we can make a decent prediction of where it's going in the future. Something that links into the future is the term an Internet of Things. The basic idea of this is that every object in real life has a virtual version in a sort of internet database. The closest thing we have to an Internet of Things currently are online shops like Amazon. They will have a certain number of an item in their warehouse, and that number will be reflected on the shop's page for that item, as well as pictures and a description. Real-life shops have barcodes on items, which links back to a database to store all the information about the item. Smartphones can even use apps to scan barcodes to search for the item online. In the future, this could become a lot more prominent, and would work as a way to connect every piece of electronics we use, and eventually turn items such as clothes into an intelligent piece of technology. One day we could have shirts that monitor your health, and a computer mouse that tells you spent too long sitting staring at a screen. The term interactive media is very wide, covering almost all types of technology. It often applies to the culture surrounding technology and the way that we interact with technology, hence interactive media. But media refers to many things, like art, photography, music, advertising, news, or video games. This means that interactive media can be any of those things so long as they interact with the user. At art exhibitions, you'll often find pieces of interactive art where the users, which are the people viewing the art, can interact with it using themselves, making them part of the artwork. A form of interactive music is the app Sounddrop for Apple devices, which allows users to draw lines of varying lengths and angles to make different musical notes when the ball hits them. The definition of interactive media may change in the future because of the change in technology that is going on. Some great examples of future interactive media are Google Glass and the Oculus Rift. Google Glass is a piece of interactive technology currently in development that could have a drastic change on our daily lives.
This is it. We're on in 2 minutes.
Okay, Glass. Hang out with the Flying Club.
The glasses can take photos, record videos, make phone calls, as well as many other things.
You ready? You ready?
Right there. Okay, Glass. Take a picture.
One of the most helpful things is likely to be using them for navigation, as well as using them to Google things that you're watching on the TV. The Oculus Rift are virtual reality goggles that could be the future of gaming. They started out as a Kickstarter project to gain funding and ended up getting 10 times the amount of funding that they wanted. They aim to deliver a very immersive gaming experience. Alongside all these new amazing pieces of technology, we're going to get a lot of changes to what we already have. For the most part, this is going to be the connection of technologies. We are already seeing examples of this with the Google Now app for Android and Apple mobile devices. As well as telling you weather, traffic, events, the time it will take you to get home, and many other things, things you search for on your computer will come up as recent searches on your phone. Even your Amazon orders will appear on the Google Now app, which shows synchronization between companies, not just within Google. These new technologies are a taste of types of interactive media to come. All you have to do is decide if you like them.